Oh, Father Time checked, said there'd be no doubt. Called on the north wind to come on out. Then cupped his hands so proudly to shout, la-di-da-da-da-da-dum, 'tis autumn. Trees say they're tired, they've borne too much fruit. John by the wayside, there's no dispute. Then shedding leaves, they don't give a hoot. La-di-da-da-da-da-dum, 'tis autumn. Then the birds get together to burp about the weather. La-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. After making their decision in birdie-like precision, turned around and made a beeline to the south. My holding you close really is no crime. Ask the birds, the bees, and old Father Time. It's just to help the mercury climb. La-di-da-da-da-da-dum, 'tis autumn. Then the birds get together to burp about the weather. After making their decision in birdie-like precision, turned around and made a beeline to the south. My holding you close really is no crime. Ask the birds, the bees, and old Father Time. It's just to help the mercury climb. La-di-da-da-da-dum, 'tis autumn. It's just to help the mercury climb. La-di-da-da-da-da-da-dum, 'tis autumn.
Welcome back to another episode of The Raw Show. I'm Carissa Pignatelli, and today we've got a special duo, Allergic to Bees. So I have to know, why allergic to the bees? And it's not spelled B-E-E-S?
No.
What?
It's bees because we were learning Tennessee Waltz with our friends Jim and Jean in the key of D, and there's only one B chord in the song. It only shows up once. Joan forgot it every single time. And out of frustration, I yelled, "What are you, allergic to bees or something?"
There we go.
And Joan looked at me and went, "Band name." And that's how it became the band name.
Yeah, and we found out the hard way that you have to put in the, it has to be apostrophe.
Yeah, because if you put
Because allergic to BS, just look it up on.
I mean, that would have been a good band name too, but I think
but no,
not what you were going for
go
there.
No.
Now, you two have been together for how many years now?
Ooh,
Since 1990. Well, we met in 1969.
Right.
Our mutual friend introduced us, and we did not like each other.
Hated each other.
And how did you get here?
And then the same person got married in 1994, and we were both at the wedding.
Oh.
And you know, stuff changed.
I guess so. Yeah.
I always say, like, I kind of tightened up and he loosened up. So, you know, it was just different.
You just met at the right time at that point.
And we got married a year later.
Oh, wow. So you've been together since, when you said
1995.
So it's what? It's our 29th year this year?
Yeah.
That's
Next
wonderful.
year will be 30.
Yeah, next year.
And what made you two decide to start playing music together? Was this something you always did?
Well, we both played music individually, but for you it was 2001, right? when you
I've
started?
been singing since I was born. In fact, I don't think they would feed me if I didn't sing first.
It's a really big part of your life then.
It was a huge part of my life, and you know, I was always around a lot of really good music, but I had crippling stage fright.
Oh.
And I really I wouldn't let people look at me
Oh my.
while I was singing. So that didn't really change until I met Gary, and he had played in bands forever, since the 60s.
Yeah, since
Wow.
He was like
64.
out there, you know, playing. And he just kind of, you know, whipped me into shape.
So you two really helped each other out. Obviously, you're providing
yeah,
the lead
yeah,
vocals, and
yeah.
you're doing a lot of the
She
instrumentals.
taught
Yeah.
me how to sing harmony,
Oh.
which
Yeah.
comes in handy.
Well, you know, I was actually about to ask because I noticed you two did a little bit of, you know, you guys were playing two different types of instruments there. I'm assuming you're the instrument type of person. You were more the singer this whole time.
That's
yeah,
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
I learned the ukulele because I'm a singer, and I wanted to sing without having to ask somebody else. to
Makes
play
sense to
for
always
me.
have the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how I started, and I just love it. I just loved it, and we actually have used it in other bands. We had a blues band, and we played in bars, and I played the electric ukulele. So,
Yeah.
I definitely want to hear more about that in a second. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, let's get to some of your other songs. Up next is Gloria, Shiva's Descending.
From now on, I'll try to be what you want. Lean on me, come on, don't lead me on. Where would I go? What would I do? Who could believe the things that I'm telling you? Gloria, Shiva's descending. Take it all, I swear I'll never need it. Tell me more, I know I'll never repeat it. If I could sleep, if I could dream, mounting campaigns to wear down the agony. Gloria, Shiva's descending. What would I call her if she were smaller than I could see? She looks straight at me, but I'd be taller. From now on, I'll try to be what you want. Lean on me, come on, don't lead me on. Where would I go? What would I do? Who could believe the things that I'm telling you? Gloria, Shiva's descending. Gloria, 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 Shiva's descending.
And we're back again with Allergic to Bees. And we were chatting before a little bit about your instruments and things like that. I know you mentioned that the ukulele was something you wanted for, well, lack of a term, good background music. You wouldn't have to ask somebody for something else. Was it really difficult to really pick that up, or not so much, especially going from singing to instrumentals?
I taught myself,
Yeah.
and it wasn't difficult for me. And I had tried to play the guitar before, and it was just, look at my hands.
Oh.
I had really tiny hands.
I don't know, they're not.
The ukulele was really like kind of perfect for me. And I always say, like, I could teach you to play a song in under 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe it's not complicated, but it is a very user-friendly
Yeah.
Good to know.
instrument.
That's very good to know.
Extremely.
Yeah.
And speaking of other instruments, being user-friendly, things like that, Gary Moore. I've noticed, Gary J. Moore, let me be more specific.
Yeah.
I noticed you had 2 different guitars, and one of them you played in a way that was not the norm. Would you want to tell me a little more about that?
Yeah, that's
Slide guitar?
dobro. The dobro is actually an instrument that most people associate with either Hawaiian or country and Western music. It's tuned to a G chord.
Okay.
So I use GBD, because it's just easier. But one of the first times we played together, because we're huge Beatle fans and we love George Harrison, we did If Not For You. Joan was playing ukulele, and I went, let me try the dobro on this, let's see if it works. And it worked.
Yeah.
It worked really well. It worked so well that we found a couple other songs where we use that combination. When I'm not using the dobro, I use a lap steel, which is the same kind of instrument, but it's electrified.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, it was the first electric instrument created by the Rickenbacker Company. But in terms of that, it's 2 of us. So if we don't vary it a little,
Yeah.
like people are like, all their songs sound the same. It's like, and you're right, because it's the same 2 people singing them.
Yeah.
So we try to mix it up. When Jeff Mason, our dear friend who passed on a couple of years, did the photo shoot for this, for the cover of our album, Sing Like a Bee, he had one shot where everybody gave me their instruments, and I was sitting in the middle like, what do I do now? And the other 3 guys were standing there laughing at me. But the joke was really, he plays so many things, like he could probably play them all, and just go from one to the other. I think it's just because, as people say online all the time, I love music so much, I just want to be a part of it. And every instrument brings out a different part.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, let's get back to that music then.
Okay.
We're actually going to be showing some of their original work, starting with Earth Mother Blues.
'67 lotus position on our high school lawn, eating brown rice with chopsticks, chewing every bite 100 times before I sit on. They had minis and hairspray, I was hairy and braless, wearing homemade shoes. I didn't know it then, but it was just the beginning of the dragged out Earth Mother Blues. I wanted to be a Dharma bum, have a third eye, listen to Allen Ginsberg chant and fly, plant my feet on the ground in the sun and grow roots, levitate, be ecstatic and numb. I wanted my parents to have an epiphany and take LSD with me. I was innocent and young, hadn't paid my dues, just getting started with those dragged out Earth Mother Blues. Thanksgiving that couldn't be beat was a start. Everybody came with love and peace in their heart. We all brought music, we all brought food. We ate and drank and got drunk on the basement and the floor without our shoes. As we sat in candle glow, looking at the feast, how could it always be like this? How could we live in peace? It's not the family you dealt, it's the family you choose. I could live my life with these Earth Mother blues. In college, our friend was on the bum. He asked if he could stay, and we told him to come. He set up sterno on my living room rug, cooked brown rice naked, and brought in bugs. I told him to leave, and he told me I sold out. We both began to cry, and I began to shout. I told him I had had it, I still had a lot to lose. I wasn't over the dragged out Earth Mother blues. When you feel like you cooked one lotus ball too many giant pots of spaghetti, too many friends on the bum who call you a creep when you fed them and you clothed them till they were on their feet. Going braless hurts too much these days, underarm hairs itching. The world is suckled at your breasts, infuse them for a kitchen. Doesn't mean the things that we believed in weren't smart. Doesn't mean we should be hard and close off our heart. But I still don't understand why they don't see. They couldn't be them if I wasn't me. Should I decide this is the way it's gonna be? Keep on smiling, learn some new recipes. I got something to gain and something to lose. Taking my chances with the Earth Mother blues. Something to gain and something to lose. Taking my chances with the drag down, go to town, Earth Mother blues.
And we're back again with Allergic to Bees. Now, I had a few other questions about some of your music. I noticed since we just heard one of your original works, how does your process come to be when it comes to writing a song? Are you more of a lyrics first person, instrumentals? How do you do this?
I was always really self-conscious about writing music, and I went to a ukulele festival and took a class about songwriting with the ukulele. And the guy said, you know, don't worry about being stupid. Don't have an invisible person over your shoulder. Like, just say what you need to say and worry about it later. And that was really helpful for me. You know, and that was, when I wrote that song, I realized when I was rehearsing it, I don't exactly feel the same way as I did when I wrote that song.
Oh, okay.
You know, I think I was a little more bitter. I was
like
younger.
a particular time in your life, I guess.
At that particular time of my life. But it is a really accurate
Yeah.
representation of
how you were.
of like what was going on.
We know exactly who it's based on.
And we don't face it. We don't have to talk about that.
But we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Lawsuit.
Oh, that's all right.
We're
Lips are
not
sealed.
We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. In last picture show, Joan pointed out to me, she goes, those opening chords sound familiar. And I'm like, yeah, they're supposed to be. They're referencing a song from a movie because that's what the song is about. Actually, it's about the closing of the Regal on Forest Avenue. And I said it in a different time period. You might have noticed there's a mention of a Surrey in there. There's a mention of lemonade and not diet soda. And my good friend Tom Wobleski is mentioned also. Because what I was getting at was that when a place like that closes, it has a big impact on the community. Like you lose a communal experience. And right after the pandemic, that's what we were looking for. And now they're really, really hard to find.
Well, they're harder to find.
Yeah, you really got
And music, I mean, we always had, in the last 25 years, a great music community in Staten Island.
Yeah.
There's so many interesting, talented people from all different disciplines. And there were a lot of places to play and get together and play with other musicians. And that has kind of gone away a little bit. That really saddens me.
But I just want to say, I do really respect you guys for still hanging on into something that you really love and putting it out there. And, you know, speaking of really, you know, making something, creating something that you really love, I've heard you got some other projects going on. I also heard you have some other albums that you'd like to share with us, too.
Yeah.
We have too. And they're online for those of you that don't like buying physical things. This is our Allergic to Bees album, which was produced by Joe Pecora with photography by Jeff Mason. And this album is Joan's solo album, 'Tis Autumn. We did 3 songs from this tonight. We did Earth, Mother Blues, 'Tis Autumn, and Gloria Shiva's Descending, which was written by John Lipinski. And this was produced by our friend Doug Epstein. And as I always tell people, yes, I do write for the Advance. I write a column on ageism called The Old Guy at the Club, which is a quip from Chris Rock. Thank you, Chris. Because ageism, I feel, is one of the last isms to go. I also do a twice monthly podcast. Joan and I used to be on a radio station from Scotland that closed, what was it, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And we miss it a lot. And I do sound design for Seaview Theater, because I realized very early on, if I started doing what people assumed a retired person was going to do, I was never going to leave my couch, and Netflix was going to be my best friend. And I didn't want that to happen necessarily.
Yeah. What about the over 50?
Oh, yes. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, I think that's really important.
2 years ago, Joni and I noticed, as she said, not only were there less venues, but people over 50 were not being asked to do gigs anymore. They were kind of like, let's just put you over there and get the new people in. So we decided 2 years ago to do 3 gigs at 3 libraries in Staten Island, the St. George, the Stapleton, and Richmond Town. And we invited our friends who are musicians and poets and comedians and visual artists to come and show people what they were doing. And
we had the theatrical.
A theatrical
like somebody wrote,
company.
a group wrote a play.
Illuminarts.
And yeah.
All other things.
And performed it.
The performers loved it. I also made sure they got paid for playing, which a lot of people weren't. But the first time we did it, people in the audience said to us, "Oh my God, we haven't been able to go out and hear live music in like 2 years. This is such a blessing." So obviously we weren't the only people that needed it. The audience needed it too. and we're really, really happy we did it.
Yeah.
And we're planning on doing
We're
another
gonna do
one
it
next
again.
year.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, thank you for giving us that wonderful opportunity. Well, not just opportunity, that just wonderful show that you got yourself out there and did. But for our viewers, we want to know where we can find you.
Where can they find us? Well, we'll be playing at Art on the Terrace because they're closing, unfortunately. And we've been doing a couple of AARP meetings,
Yeah, I mean,
which are a
really-
lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, do you
I had
guys-
some health issues in the last 2 years, and I haven't really been performing. I'm just starting to get back out,
Yeah.
back
Get
back
out
at
there.
it.
So we're, you know,
But we do have a page on Facebook,
Good.
and we do post on there all the time.
Right?
yeah. And I have to mention that I decided at a certain point to not be a professional musician
What made you say that?
because I noticed that the people I know who are will not, they'll never get together with you and jam because that's their job.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
Now
I
it's work.
didn't want to feel that way about music. I didn't want it to be work. I want it to be, it's my joy, it is my worship. It, you know, it's really like my bliss, you know? And so I would rather have a day job
And then
and
have
just
your-
do it for love.
Good. All good reasons to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you both. But let's get back to one final song for you guys. Last Picture Show.
Rode into town to see what was going on at the last picture show. Ran into my old friend Tom outside the marquee. He asked me what I was seeing. Then he said me too. All of us excited to see the last picture show. Newspapers said we ought to hurry, they'd be closing soon. Eat up your lunch, settle up the Surrey, and get down there. Buy you a popcorn and a lemonade. Show will be starting soon. All of us like little kids at the last picture show. The last picture show. The school mom and the parson, the teller from the bank, the gas station attendant, and the waitress from the diner. All of us there to witness the last picture show. The last picture show. Well, the curtain opened, the movie started. We cried and laughed a bit. And when it was over, we hung out in the lobby and reminisced. Then we headed to the diner for an early dinner.